So today we're at the site of St Bartholomew's Church um, at the top of Chosen Hill um, in the beautiful countryside of Gloucestershire. And just so that we have from up here, the beautiful Cotswolds in all its glory. An amazing vista. Absolutely gorgeous. So today, I'd like to talk about 5 reasons to retire. I think they're important, and I think it's certainly something that anyone who's approaching retirement or planning for retirement really need to consider and sort of incorporate into their retirement planning. So the first reason that I'd like to talk about is time. And one of the key life lessons that I've learned, and I know a lot of other people subscribe to, is money can't buy you time. So the more time you spend earning money, maybe to put towards your retirement, the less time in retirement that you have. So I think it's a really, really important factor to take into consideration. Money does not buy time. In fact, all the time that you're spending earning money is losing you freedom and time in retirement. So money, time is a finite resource, something that you can never get back. Every minute that you spend is a minute that's gone forever. It's worth thinking how many minutes, hours, days, weeks, and months do you have left? And how would you like to spend that time? And whether money then becomes the most important factor. And there is a finite time where there's a crossover between time that you want to spend and money that you want to earn in order to be able to spend that time. And I think it's a crucial decision for nearly everybody. The second thing about a reason to retire is freedom. For most of our lives, we're chained to a job. We're chained to a lifestyle. We've been conditioned into living a life based around going to work, earning money, paying the bills, paying for children's education, sending them off to college, consolidating our stability and our position, paying off a mortgage, renting, whatever that is, planning to get out of renting and being able to buy your first property. And all of those things take priority over the early and middle years of our lives. But what we give away as a result of that is our freedom to do other things that we might like to do, rather than things that are imposed upon us because we have to go and do a job, we have to go to work, and other people are dictating how we live our lives. So one of the key factors, I think, about retirement, and one of its benefits, is that freedom to do what you want to do, not what other people tell you they want you to do. When we think about it, our opportunities to do the things that we want to do are limited by our working weeks. We have a few days holiday or maybe a weekend, and there's always something to do. We're always against the clock. There's always some time pressure to get things done. And retirement offers you the freedom to throw the clock away, and be able to do things in your own time, to be able to do things in a relaxed way, to not feel you've got to get this done tomorrow because that's the only free time that you have. So freedom, I think, is another really, really important factor in favour of retirement. The next thing is opportunities. So opportunities to enjoy ourselves. When we're limited in our time, we're trying to squash everything into the small amounts of time that we have available to us outside of working hours, outside of other commitments that are imposed upon us. There's very few opportunities to do the things that you love, that you enjoy, or the opportunity to try new things. So have a go at something else that you've always fancied doing, but have never found the time to be able to do it. A lot of hobbies are time consuming, so they take up a lot of time, and very many people are put off trying something new because of the time it's going to take them to become proficient in what they're doing, and then finally to enjoy it. And again, trying to squash those things into the limited free time that we currently have at the moment. So the very first three elements of retirement all really revolve around that first most important one that I think is time. But freedom is tied to time and the commitments that you have, and opportunities are tied to time as well. It's great if you can take an opportunity to do something that you always wanted to do, but you have to bear in mind how long is it going to take you to do it. And very often, I think that when it comes to opportunities and things like that, it's not necessarily the destination that's important; it's the journey that you're taking to get to that destination. So, for example, if you would like to take up painting and you've never done it before, or photography, or any creative art, it's going to take a bit of time for you to become proficient and good at that hobby. Whether you want to go and play crown green bowls, take up a new sport, or you've never played golf, but you think now I'm going to have the time to be able to do that. It's going to take you quite a bit of time to become decent at your new hobby. So that all takes up time. And very often people are reluctant to actually spend that time because they don't feel that they've got enough time to do it properly. So retirement gives you that fantastic opportunity to spend some time learning new skills, new hobbies, new things to do that you've never had the time to do in the past. So the fourth reason for retirement is health. Again, this is tied to time. And let's face it, our health is continually deteriorating. It's not going to get any better the older we get. And so maintaining our health, living a healthy lifestyle, eating healthily, getting out in the fresh air, going for walks, getting involved in a hobby which has a physical aspect to it, whether that's sports, whether that's gardening, whether that's hiking, I think is absolutely crucial. And you'll see in my last video that I learned a big lesson, that I've been neglecting my own health. And it's something that I'm going to make some changes to. I'm definitely going to get out more and seek to improve my health gradually so that I can do longer walks, I can take on more challenging walks, and hopefully through my videos be able to introduce you guys to some of the glories of the places that I visit. So health is absolutely massive. I don't think it could be understated. If you have health conditions like I do, then they need to be managed, and I certainly need to be doing far more healthy things than I've been doing over the last 10 or 15 years, or probably for the majority of my life. Now it's starting to catch up with me, and I need to do something about it. So, in terms of planning, for anybody, it's important, I think, to plan health into the equation right from the outset. And as much as you might be looking to plan your finances and things like that, your finances are completely useless if you don't have any health. So, alongside planning for wealth, you need to be planning for health. So, can't underline that more than I have. And then finally, the one I think that worries everybody, and everyone's concerned with, is money. So again, planning for retirement, making sure that you're comfortable, that you're able to live in retirement, that you have enough resources to be able to see you through those retirement phases, is massively important. And the earlier you start, the easier it becomes. I know it's not easy. It really isn't easy. There's so many other conflicting priorities that take up our money, just like, again, with time. So many bills that we have to pay, things that we have to think about, just for everyday living, without, having a big bucket of money at the end of each month to be able to put into a retirement pot. However, I really would urge everybody to think about what they can save, even if it's what you consider to be a little bit of money. Anything is better than nothing. And the earlier you start planning, the easier it becomes, and the bigger your pot will be at the end of the day. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving any kind of financial advice, but just common sense dictates the more that you can save, the better off you're going to be. And the earlier that you start saving, the better off you're going to be. And if you're able to invest that money, even if it's just in a bank account with a paltry rate of interest, it's still going to grow over time. And there are lots of videos on YouTube now with good financial advice about where you could save your money and how you should save your money. And I think to become financially educated is an important life lesson. Get financially educated as early as you can, so that you're making the most of the opportunities, however much it is that you might be able to save, that you're making that money work for you from a very, very early stage. The other thing I'd say about money is, at some point you're going to have to retire. The decision is going to be made for you, not by you. So the best position to try to find yourself in is that you've got a really good input into that discussion about retirement. Don't leave it until there are no choices left. You have to retire, whether that's for ill health or a whole myriad of other reasons. Make sure that you've put yourself in a position to be able to make some decisions for yourself. And of course, at the end of the day, that is all down to having enough money to retire. The other thing that I would say about having an input into discussions about when you retire is that you give yourself options. So if something dramatic does happen, you're not facing that and starting from scratch in terms of your planning. So even if you have to retire earlier than you expected, at least you've got some skin in the game, and you've got some options that you can choose about how you're going to approach the situation that you face yourself with. I don't think there's anything worse than suddenly having something happen that where you're not prepared, and you don't know what to do. And then you've got to work it out as you're going through that situation. So I can't stress enough. Time is important, and it's a massive consideration, and everything else flows from that time. But the two things that you need in order to be able to enjoy that time that you've set aside for yourself, the freedom that you're going to gain, and the opportunities that might present themselves, the two things that underpin all of those other things is a healthy lifestyle, your personal health, and money. So work on health and money. Those are the things that underpin everything else and give you options as you get older. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I hope you like the location. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been very blessed. The weather has started to turn and getting a bit cloudy, but I've been very lucky today. There's some sunshine, some blue skies, and it's been absolutely gorgeous. So if you've enjoyed my content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. There's no cost to subscribing, but it does help me to grow my channel and develop my skills as a YouTube presenter. And please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay informed. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.